About to leave off.
All right, we'll start off this podcast with a little shot. Levi, are you
Oh yeah.
We hear them.
a lot of people, they claim, they fight a lot of demons and stuff like that mentally, and it's like most of the time it's not even real issues. It's most of the time necessarily it's really just them fighting accountability and responsibility. You complaining about it, or you saying, oh, I need this for that, I need it, this is only going to make it worse. Like if you actually thought about it in maybe a positive way, or
How's it water buffalo?
This is a Buff Talk.
3, 2, 1. Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Old School Matt here. We are back with another Buff Talk. Today we are joined by the one and only Nick, the Prodigy Frank. I'm back with the co-host / the main host, Levi Ruiz.
Yeah, right.
And we finally got the setup to, I would say, 90%. We got all the lights set up. We got the cloud lifters. We're here, dude.
Yeah.
We came from doing a podcast with Levi's, the dynamic or whatever mics we had before, and look at us now. Things have changed a lot.
I gotta
It's been
say,
great.
Matt, like I haven't done a podcast with you in a little bit, but dude, this looks awesome.
Dude, yeah, I know.
We used to be there, and obviously you guys have seen the other podcast where we're this way.
it's definitely official. Not to cut you off, but it's definitely official. Like I feel legit.
Real quick, can you take the faders and bring them down like an inch each?
Yeah, bring the faders down a little bit.
Yeah.
What are we? 1, 2, we're 2, 3,
1,
4.
2, 3.
2, 3, 4. Check.
Better.
A little bit, yeah. That's way better.
Anyways, guys, so we're here with Nick, the Prodigy Franklin. Welcome to the Water Buffalo Buff Talk podcast. Nick's familiar with everything. Obviously, he's been here before. Nick, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking, dude?
Well, this is my first podcast ever in my life.
Wow.
So this
Really?
is,
Let's get it.
What? I thought you did these all the time.
it's exciting though. We'll see how it goes. I feel like we got some good topics coming our way. We're sipping on some nootropics and tequila, so
Dude,
yeah.
we got a ways to go. We were talking about something before Nick came in here because Levi was a little bit tired, and we were talking about our sleep schedule. So, Levi, what's up with your sleep schedule lately, dude? You've been grinding a lot, or?
I'll tell you a little bit about it. I actually am very curious to hear Nick's schedule because his sleep schedule fascinates me. But because I work on a 24-hour shift, the getting up for work and then getting up early at work to wash the trucks, do the chores, and stock the truck and make sure everything's good for the next week.
Levi works at Costco, by the way. No, I'm just kidding.
Stock the truck.
Exactly. And so I have like 2 early days, and when I get off shift, depending on how crazy the shift was, I usually have a pretty productive early day after that. The 2 other days I sleep in, I really try and value my sleep. I go to sleep relatively early.
Sleep's important.
Yeah. And if I don't at least get to bed by like 10 or 11, I sleep in until probably like 9, which is pretty late for me.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you, Nick?
Yeah, Nick was spitting some facts the other day. Me and him were talking about it. He
Honestly,
called me at
this was
5
a
in the
topic.
morning the other day. He's like, yo, dude, what's up, bro? You up? And I'm like, kind of. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that didn't happen. But
No, that didn't happen.
in
You
his
remember?
dreams it did.
You
Yeah,
don't remember?
I think
You
I called him in
called me
his
at
dreams
like
at least,
6:45 one morning.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, and I was like,
Sorry,
I was
forgot
like,
about that.
You guys
no.
probably think I'm like a bum. He was like, oh, God.
No.
No.
Listen, so it's been kind of like an experiment, not purposely, but kind of coincidentally, just because my schedule has been getting a lot crazier. We're now in, school again, I work full time. And the gym is obviously another full-time job basically, because it's what we love, it's we're going to get it done. But so been doing some, hey Lauren, how you doing? Oh, sorry guys.
Hey, I got it.
We got background going on.
So basically I've been trying to switch up the schedule. So I've been waking up at 5:30, doing fasted workouts, trying to get to the gym at least before 6 so I can get like a good 2 hours. Say I got to be in at 9. And I really do feel like it kind of sets the tone for the day, energy wise. Like at first, it's kind of tough to wake up. You open your eyes at 5:30. You're like, gosh, I just went to bed at 12. Like this shit is not, going to be that good. But, once you get that pre-workout in and you actually get in the gym and you're, hitting that workout, it's like something else, because it just starts the day, the energy's right. You feel like, you're getting it out of the way. Not only that, but it kind of just sets the tone for the rest of the day, with a full force. It's like, I remember they used to say like, if you want to start like, you know, your day off with discipline, what's the first thing you should do?
Does that make your bed?
Make
Make your bed. Yeah. And like, I always like thought like, you know, is that even like, what does that even mean? Like, I don't, you know, make my bed, but
I think it's an introduction. It's like a catch.
it's a first win.
Yeah, it's
Like,
a first step.
You guys are motivating me, bro. Because
No,
I used to read a book. I still read a book before I go to bed because it helps me sleep. But I used to read a book every morning, like one book at night, one book in the morning, instead of going on my phone. And I've been kind of lazy with it. But you know what? Tomorrow morning, I'm gonna put that book right next. Put the separate book because I always read 2 books at once. I try to. I'm put it next to my. Don't mean to cut you off, but
No. Let it flow. Let it flow.
It's a really you have a point there. When you start your day, you set the tone right, bro. Your day feels great.
Honestly, I'm a big believer in energy and how, you know, negative energy, positive energy, all energy affects us. I mean, we are energy. Everything around us is energy. And I think it really sets that feeling for the day that, you know, you accomplish one task, you go on to the next, like you eat after, you deserve that meal because you already worked out, you accomplished something. So you already feel good about that. And then it's like you have more time to set the day for work or whatever else you have to do after that. And you're kind of already thinking a little clearly, especially if you put a little pre-workout in your system. I mean, obviously caffeine is something you really have to, you know, moderate. I mean, it's a drug like everything else, you know, it can be abused. But I mean, most people, you know, just drink coffee. You know, I'm not really a fan of coffee. So, you know, little pre-workout for me is kind of like my substitute.
You know what I was thinking about? Sorry, not to. Did you finish that thought? I know my sociology teacher in high school. He trained himself to only sleep 5 hours a day, and he never let him sleep even on weekends. He would, if he went to sleep at 11, he'd have to get up at 4. If he didn't go to sleep till 1, he'd have to wake up at 6. And he said his body got used to it and it's fine. But imagine, like, let's say we functioned 8-9 hours of sleep. Let's say 8 to be safe. Just that 3 extra hours of sleep. Think about how much life. We spend a third of our day sleeping, 8 hours out of 24. Yeah. So think about 3 extra hours for 365 days. We're gonna be safe and say, let's see, 700, and so 1,050 hours. 1,000 hours divided by 24. I'm gonna say that's 40 days, right? That's 40 days a year extra of just living life. Like conscious life that you're
the only like debate I would say, the people out there, like the sleep freaks out there. Listen, I'm all for. In the past year, I've probably
freaks isn't like sleep,
not sleeping. No, like sleeping like 8 to 9 hours, and like if I don't get 8 hours of sleep, I can't do this, I can't do that. I've been probably averaging 6 to 7 hours of sleep. I haven't got 8 hours of sleep, and I don't even know how long. The only thing that people would say is that those extra 40 days you get won't be as productive because you'll be tired, or your brain function will be less at 100%. You won't be performing at capacity.
Explain that to me. So the days you do sleep in,
you know what I'm saying?
The days you do sleep in, you won't be as productive?
No, the day that so you're saying you get an extra 40 days from only sleeping 5 hours a day for the whole year, but those extra time that you save, won't be as productive. So like, let's say you sleep 8 hours and you can perform at 90%. If you sleep 5 hours, you're only performing at 70%. You know what I mean?
No, I totally
so you're like 90.
For the viewers, forgive me, I am low on sleep.
Yeah.
So if I seem a little slow today, it's because, well, I'm always slow.
I think sleep is important, but honestly, like Nick, you're pretty good with your meals most of the time, right? In terms of muscle building, I think that if you have everything else checked,
I was not to cut you off, but I was gonna kind of go off that. Back off that as well.
You're coming back.
I agree. I think sleep is very important as well. But right now, you know, we're in our early 20s. You know, I feel like, yes, I mean, we are training hard, you know, mentally, physically, we have a lot going on. And no matter what age you are, your body needs to recover from those kind of things. But I'd so much rather risk, you know, a little bit of fatigue, a little bit of pain in my early 20s than to have to suffer with, you know, things I regret, you know, in my 30s, 40s, 50s.
Exactly.
So I think like right now it's the time to
it's like
get a little less sleep, drink a little caffeine, you know, slap yourself on the ass.
Yeah, a little music. I was
about
to say, this circles around to some other podcasts we do. I was about to say, one, you're saving money because time is money. But the main thing I was going to say was, at the end of life, nobody says, I wish I would have worked more hours. Nobody says that. So like the other day I got a call for overtime, and overtime for our 24-hour shift is pretty decent for us. And I was on the fence. I was like, you know what? At the end of life, they said that. So what you said, I forgot what you said exactly. You were like, I don't mind taking that risk and just going through that pain, blah, blah, blah. It's like no one's ever died or was on their deathbed and said, I wish I slept more.
Exactly. Like what I basically meant by that was like, you know, of course, you know, there's going to be some pain. There's going to be some fatigue that come with you not getting as much sleep.
But that's where we get into taking things like your adaptogens.
Yeah,
you're
like
talking about?
nootropics, multivitamins, you know, adaptogens. I think
Egg whites.
There's egg white. Definitely nutrition plays a big role. Like if your nutrition is on point, the fatigue from lack of sleep is going to be a lot less. And honestly, your body kind of gets used to less sleep. Like, you know, I honestly think, you know, 5-6 hours of sleep may not be great if, you know, you're in your 70s.
Well, you know what? Actually, older people sleep less. I don't know if you guys realize that older people can actually get away with sleeping less.
Yeah.
I think sleep's important when you're young, when you're like 15 or like 10 to 15.
Maybe for growth.
For sure. But like you were saying, and like what we do, most of us, we eat pretty healthily. We don't kind of like slack off. For someone out there just starting out working out and they're like not dieting, they're not training properly, they're not stretching and doing recovery, whatever, it might not be the best idea not to sleep. But we kind of know our body, and we're not going to be, I mean, right now we're not trying to compete or do anything at the top level of any athletic performance. So, you know, risking 1 to 2 hours of sleep, it might be a better alternative for us, especially because we're not financially, you know, there where we want to be.
Yeah.
So the money is not there to back us into kind of like back up us being able to sleep 9-10 hours a night. But I don't even know, honestly, I don't even like sleeping more than 8 hours. I feel like if I sleep more than 8 hours, I just feel tired. I feel worse.
I think it depends. I think 9 times out of 10 I'm like that. But like if I'm in Sanibel with my girlfriend and we're sleeping in a hotel, we want to have a nice relaxing morning. I like that, like groggy, wake up, hang out in the sheets, have a nice conversation, get up slow kind of thing.
Freaking sheets, just kidding.
Breakfast and bread. Breakfast and bread. Breakfast and bed.
Actually, funny thing. I think it's actually, I think everybody should practice what it's like to be conditioned to get out of bed at like 3 a.m. and do something like adrenaline.
Dude, he tomorrow morning I'm gonna get up early. I for
3 a.m. is a little excessive.
So I
No, I
used
meant
to
like in the middle of your sleep.
I think that's
like,
the fire coming
because-
out of him. Like,
Well, it's funny. My buddy, I want you to finish your thought after this. I
No,
hate
you're good.
interrupting, but my buddy just had a baby. Congrats, Robert
wow.
Dodd, little baby Avery.
his name's Ramadan.
Robert Dodd. That's literally
I think his name is
When I'm
Ramadan.
tired, I mumble. So you guys probably are only
Isn't
going to
it
understand
Ramadan?
what they say.
It is Ramadan. So I was like, what? His name's Ramadan.
Robert Dodd, congratulations, Avery. And we were Snapchatting the other day, and he's like basically falling asleep with her on her chest because she won't go to sleep unless she's with mom or dad. And obviously, his
I have two
significant
things.
other just went through 9 months of like, you know, hard work.
yeah.
And what was he saying? He's like, oh, bro, I'm so conditioned for this. He's like, how's it gonna be harder? I'm like, this is like a refusal.
Well, you gotta think,
get up,
like-
feed it, whatever. Change the diaper.
Real quick before we get off the topic of babies. If you guys have a kid and they're not sleeping in the middle of the night, are you gonna plug in headphones in and going back to bed, or are you gonna be catering to that child? in the middle
It
of the night?
depends. If you know that their diapers change and they're fed and everything's taken care of, the checklist, and then you can safely say that you don't know what's in their mind, but if
just a
your
little.
impression is like
Just kidding.
they're just complaining, then you can do that. But you have to make sure they're fed, they're
for
changed,
sure.
and they're dry. You know.
A bottle of NyQuil. I mean, it won't do nothing.
Hey, wait. Here's an adult
No,
dose
but
of Benadryl.
to go off the whole child
Here's
and
some
baby thing,
Xanax.
like I think when you first have a kid, like, and it's your first child, it's going to be one hell of an experience at first because
Definitely.
you are not prepared for that. I don't care who you are, how many books you read. There's no written manual for your child because that human being is going to be its own person. Like
Exactly.
you don't know how it's going to sleep, what it's going to react to, what it's going to like to eat, like anything like that. So
I
you
think
have to
conditioning is a big thing
learn
for
all
children.
those
Though.
things.
And we've talked about this before. but-
Yeah, and in the beginning, it's always going to be tough. So I think it's something you just have to adapt to eventually. And you're going to have sleepless nights. That's just all part of it. You shouldn't have
Practice
had a
with your
kid.
friends, nieces, and nephews.
Fuck up with
I'll
them.
take care of them. I'll take care of them one night.
Oh, God, that was horrible.
Practice with your dog.
Where'd he go? No, I was just kidding.
Actually, that dogs are a good. I heard that if a couple's looking to take the next step, you know, a married couple, that let's say 2-3 years,
Dogs are very good.
they're
I agree,
they're a
disagree.
responsibility. You have to tend to
I think
them.
any
They're
kind of
living-
pet.
yeah.
I mean, maybe not like turtles.
Gosh, I don't know if I'm offending any dog freaks out there, but all the people that I know that have been really, really like about their dogs, you know, parenting might be a tough skill for them.
lucky.
Yeah. I mean, don't be like myself, but I think that what we were talking about sleep though, there was one more thing I wanted to touch on. Anyways, to wrap up the sleep combo for that part, if you're doing everything you have to do in terms of bodybuilding and fitness and whatever, your diet's on point, your training's on point, and you're not trying to compete at like a higher level for anything and trying to win, I think you can get away with 6 to 7 hours of sleep and be
Okay.
perfectly fine. Even 5.
I can meet you there. I agree with that. I
and
think
5, and then like, I don't know, do you take naps?
I will sometimes take naps.
Yeah.
Like if I have time throughout the day, I will take naps. But I don't know. I think it really depends on the individual. Like you have to experiment because like for me, I've noticed like these last couple months, I mean, it's probably been this last month. What works best for me is just waking up, taking a little pre-workout and going right to the gym.
How, like, from the moment your feet hit the ground, what's that window to pre-workout? I actually want to know. Like 30 minutes, an hour, or you're talking like you're
5
punching down some
seconds.
C4 on your nightstand.
Well, sometimes I eat kind of late. Like my last meal sometimes is at 11 o'clock.
That's the only thing that I would kind of.
And I think that helps
Yeah.
because
Yeah, it does.
if I eat at 11, say 12 o'clock and I wake up at 5 in the morning, technically I'm really not that fasted at that much. Like I'm probably a little fasted.
yeah, you stop going anabolic at like 4, maybe.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I would be concerned of is training fasted is not having any sort of protein in my system.
Yeah,
Oh
you
yeah,
definitely.
I trained, it was like 12 noon, and then we worked out to like 2. We did legs and I was fasted. It was
Well,
just like, what?
the reason behind it, I think, is beneficial is because we don't realize though, eating is probably one of the most
Not overrated.
it's one of like the biggest energy diminishing things our body does. Like our digestion is probably it takes
true.
up so much energy that our hormones aren't able to function at their optimal levels because if we're eating all day and digesting food all day. So when you're in a fast, and especially when you're sleeping, that's why your body recovers so much when you sleep because your hormones are at their optimal
That's
levels.
true.
The
You
cortisol
reset.
is low.
You reset.
Little me lesson. If I know you or some friends, maybe if you guys are going to in school later, you have your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. A good way to remember them when you go through EMT, paramedic, or whatever. Fight or flight is sympathetic. Parasympathetic, I think a parachute going down. Your parasympathetic called feed or breathe. What you just said, digestion. Feed is those hormones that are helping your digestion and everything go through that. That's a here, take this. Here, be under the radar. Except we're on camera.
No, I cut it out pretty good on the last podcast we did.
Anyway,
You want to take another little shot?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Skates
and, no, and yeah, if you remember that you do actually have an entire like kind of system when you're in parasympathetic mode. But just as a little like, what's it called? Ash going astray of this conversation. So I'm not a big fan of porn, drugs. I don't really smoke weed or anything, so I don't really know what it's like to be high.
Nothing wrong with
off
that.
of THC.
you pass me that water?
It's totally
This
okay.
one?
Yeah, I think that's next.
So I don't really know what it's like to be high off of THC or anything. But
Have you
tell
ever
me-
tried it? Not to
No,
control.
I've never tried it.
Never. Okay.
But
Good boy.
have you ever had such a like either an oversleep or undersleep? For me, it's an undersleep. We had like a fire from like 1 to freaking 5 a.m. and then freaking med calls for the rest of the shift. And then I leave work and I'm so groggy. I feel high. I really,
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like to be high, but if there was a point, like music is like, it hits me harder. I'm like in it. I'm not myself. I'm just
You get focused. If you can get focused, you get way more focused.
Exactly.
But if you're not in it, dude, it's really hard.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
fixated. I'm
It's like,
swerving on the road, but I'm feeling his lyrics.
the ultimate of that happens to me when I go fishing. That's the only time I really like truly don't get enough sleep is when I fish because we'll sleep 3-4 hours. Because you think about it, like the same thing with you with work. I'm sure when you stayed up the night before at 2-3 in the morning, you're like, shit, I have to get up in 3 hours.
Well, don't quote me here. I'm not sure if this is correct or not, but I believe the chemical that's released in your brain is dopamine when you sleep, right?
There's many.
There's a lot.
dopamine,
So serotonin. Yeah.
Serotonin. I don't know. Maybe one of those chemicals
look
when
it
you
up.
get really tired.
With laptop.
I think maybe when he gets really tired, like something in his brain releases, like one of those chemicals releases, because maybe you almost do get kind of high in a way. Like maybe it is like a little, like
I'm
you're
sure.
almost like dreaming in a way.
Yeah, like like the love hormone, oxytocin. It's like other things produce oxytocin, that love hormone, and then it combines with dopamine and serotonin. And stuff
Yeah,
like
not
that.
dopamine. Dopamine is like the
No,
euphoric high. Like that's like when you.
It's like a balance of all. Think
That's
of
like what caffeine releases.
think
and
of
stuff like that.
recipes. That's what I'm pretty sure. I mean, my anatomy physiology 2 teacher was an endocrinologist, and I think he was saying it's like there's a secretion of many hormones for different situations.
Yeah.
But it's like sometimes it's like this amount of dopamine, only this amount of serotonin, and this amount of you're stressed. Oh, now it's mainly cortisol and
Yeah.
a little bit of serotonin, and then you just saw a snake in your floorboards of your car. Oh, it's actually norepinephrine, epinephrine, which is adrenaline, and it's freaking cortisol, and you're stressed, and your blood vessels.
It's crazy. I know.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors that go into play.
So much, bro. The mind is
And
ridiculous.
also with sleep, to kind of like just wrap it up, or just to add another thought to it, sleep also does affect your hormones if you don't get adequate sleep.
Yeah.
So over time, you could see a loss in testosterone, a loss in, or depending on who you are. I get less hungry when I don't sleep well. When I don't sleep well, I feel like I can run off less food.
Oh, like you don't have an appetite when you sleep?
Yeah, like if I were to sleep at like I'm thinking fishing most likely. Maybe the adrenaline in my body from going out there and doing something fun like that. But when I fish, I can get up and have like a minimal breakfast and go fish for like 6 hours and not eat anything till I get
Actually, I
back.
want to hear Nick's. Do you have any situations where you're like, you have that feeling? Him fishing for me, either an oversleep where I sleep like 12 hours straight, like 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. Or would you want me to look up?
No. If you whenever you want to look anything up, you go.
Do you have anything in your life that sometimes you've like, you're like, wow, this is like a different feeling? Obviously, not with drugs, is what we're saying. Not with anything that you're
without drugs,
inhaling.
I mean, gosh, not really. No. Honestly, yeah. I do get overtired. I mean, I do get undertired. I'm a normal human being as well. I think that's very common between people that are whether it's between 16 and 30. I mean, I don't know. I think it can happen for everybody. It's a very common issue with people of all ages.
So check this out.
I don't think I don't think honestly, even when I drink, like I never really lose control of myself. Like,
Yeah,
I never been that kind of person. Like,
me neither, except for marijuana. But like anything else,
I think mentally I'm always kind of there, even when I'm real tired. Like, honestly, I have, of course, had times where like I was like kind of nodding off on the road, but it wasn't like ever like terribly bad.
But
I mean, one time I did lose my side mirror because of it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
but sometimes that's kind of dangerous.
Yeah, no, it was. I was driving.
But sometimes, honestly, no one talks about and it might be just the release of adrenaline in your body. It could be more other hormones
Actually,
involved.
not to cut you off, but I think there is one thing for me. Actually, it's overtraining. Like,
Yeah.
I do believe
overtrain.
I overtrain a lot, and I think it's just because I have that mental addiction of just wanting to train. It's just been such a consistency in my life. It became that kind of obsession to where like I need to just train. It's a mental thing for me. But
just to witness what he literally the other day, Nick came up to be like, "Oh, I had a really nice rest day today." I'm like, "Oh, what'd you do?" Because, "Oh, I went for a jog on the beach." I was like, "This motherfucker, that's his rest day." I was like, just to back up what he's saying.
I told him that at the gym, so technically it wasn't a rest day.
No,
Really?
I think he told me in the kitchen actually.
Oh, we were in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're cooking up. No, but something that people don't talk about from a lack of sleep, or like maybe not sleeping as much as you should, is like you get some sort of like, I get like confidence in a way. I don't know. I feel like kind of like a badass
With what?
when I'm like grinding and I don't sleep very much. Like, let's say like I have a project or I have work due or something with water buffalo or whatever it might be. If I'm like low on sleep, I feel like almost like I'm a fucking like the man. You know what I mean?
I could level with that because right after we left that shoot,
You're just like,
I had so much to do. I killed the rest of my monster at 11:30 p.m.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have stuff to do. I got to go pick up the SD card reader. I got to go home. I got to start mixing. I was literally like, when I like ran into her house and got the SD card reader and I went back and I was just like, I was like doing it. I was blasting some music. I was like, everyone's asleep and I'm working.
Yeah, dude.
That's how I feel at work though.
I honestly, I like that feeling a lot. And that's why I used to, with the kid named Noah, I used to train with him in Gainesville for a while. Dude, he was a freak. Like, he literally would get up at 4:30 in the morning. We'd go to the gym at 5 for like 2 semesters. We did that like every single day, Monday through Sunday.
What time did you go to bed? Like,
I would go to bed like 10. Yeah, like 10:30.
I mean, it's
But-
still 6. It's still 6. I mean, it's not too bad.
Yeah. But I mean, when you, for me, it's easier to fall asleep around 12 than it is to fall asleep around 10.
100%, yeah.
If I'm trying to fall asleep around 10, no matter how tired I am, it's harder for me. I think an optimal like go to bed time for me is like midnight, 1:30. Well, midnight, 12:30, 1. But I don't know. When I have the lack of, and that's another thing. When I don't sleep very well, the first 2 nights are shitty, but then after that, like if you're on a low sleep for like 3 or 4 days, you get, like you said, you get used to it.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, actually, I want to bring up something that's a subject, and I want to get your opinions on it. But if we can bounce back to our old subject and then come back,
Yeah, we're gonna take a shot
I'm
real
going to
quick.
show.
Quick little shot.
Oh, hey. So while they take a shot, you guys can zoom in on this, maybe pause it. Noradrenaline on the top left, serotonin, and dopamine. Now I'll show you guys.
We're gonna break it down here because My
check it out. So
education on it
it's
wasn't the
a
best.
mix. So a lot of people think that norepinephrine or non-adrenaline is epinephrine.
It's the total opposite, right?
It's actually, that's what a lot of people think. It's just a weaker version.
Oh,
So when you
okay.
need to get out of bed and
Let me get some of that new water buffalo
Icy
supplement
blue
we're
buffalo.
making.
let's say you're getting out of that chair and you don't want the blood to drain from your head. Your body secretes a little bit of noradrenaline or norepinephrine, and it raises your blood pressure enough to get the blood back up to your head when you stand up, or when you're laying down, you come up. That's why when people have really low blood pressures or they're on beta blockers, when they stand up too fast, they pass out because they can't secrete the correct hormones to catch up. However, epinephrine's like super intense. I'd say, this is what I was told. Prove me wrong. Comment below. But epinephrine or adrenaline is like I said, seeing a snake in the floorboards, or you hear a gunshot and you realize you have to defend yourself or take cover or whatever you need to do. It's like that. Obviously, there's higher levels of it in a situation like that versus like somebody just scared the crap out of you with a, scream mask or something. But there's,
I believe adaptogens can actually help
what's an
you.
adaptogen? I heard you say that before. Is that a supplement?
So basically, an adaptogen is what a function of an adaptogen is it kind of reduces the stress hormone cortisol. It can help manage stress better, and I feel like it can also be beneficial in fight or flight situations. Like it can help reduce fight or flight mode, so you can think clearer. Because like what fight or flight is it it kind of like raises everything.
Exactly. Sympathetic nervous system.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I think the adaptogens can help, control that to where it doesn't activate that fight or flight as much, to where you can make more sound decisions.
Let me ask you this though: do you think it's better to supplement yourself like a brace or I guess I'll stick with the word supplement until you can handle it, or do you think it's better to handle it like let's say you go through a really stressful school before you go into a really stressful job, and in school they train you to work under stress really hard, so when you go into that career you're really good at managing stress? Do you think it's better to go medicinally first and work your way up and get your own system going maybe? Or do you think...
I think you should always try to practice the least amount of supplementation possible. But of course, to try to, maximize your performance in all aspects, supplementation is definitely
So
useful.
you're saying like moderation?
Yeah, maybe in
bit,
moderation, because you don't necessarily want to be dependent on things. I'm a big believer in trying your hardest to not be dependent on things, whether it's caffeine, anything like that. Because once you become dependent on things,
Sorry, I found this thing and I was just changing the colors and shit.
it's changing the colors.
My bad, dude.
No.
Is that one on?
I feel like the more dependent you become on things, the more of a slave you come to your, to those, supplements.
100%.
So
Talking from 2, maybe 3 guys that are caffeine addicted.
yeah.
Real quick, I just want to get this over with because I thought I actually segues perfectly into what I was going to talk about, which is learning before sleep. But it says dopamine's reward, pleasure, and drive, where on this side it says noradrenaline is energy, alertness, and concentration. So like that feeling that when you're like working late night, noradrenaline, and then when you combine dopamine with noradrenaline, it's like I think it's when you're like your hard work pleases yourself.
Interesting.
Attention and motivation. And then they have like noradrenaline and serotonin, which is anxiety. Serotonin, obsessive and compulsions. Bro, do you guys ever, not OCD as in like, oh, I need this here and I need this here. That's just being like a little over organizational. Do you guys ever have like real obsessions and then have real compulsions that go with that? Like
Yes.
sometimes I'll literally lock my car and I'm like, okay, I gotta lock it 3 times. And like sometimes I'm like, I should do 3 sets of 3 that feel really good. And I have to tell myself, no, that's an obsession. Don't let a compulsion take over. If I lock it like 3 sets 3 times just to for satisfaction, I know I'll be a slave to that for a while. So I have to tell myself, no, you have to be unsatisfied. You guys ever get that? So I feel like that's for me, it's a little taste of OCD.
Let me just give you this example. Like, say I like took my multivitamin, or I think I did. I almost forgot, and I'm like, wait, no, I have to take it. I don't think I took it. Do I take it again? Like, is that kind of like an obsession, or is that just like a?
Yeah, I've done that before.
I can't.
Did I take them today?
I can't speak for that because
did I take that one? Or like,
and then you think, and then you think you're like, wait, if I take too much, is that gonna fuck me up? I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I'm fine.
I'm just gonna go with I don't know because I don't want to speak on behalf of people who do suffer from real OCD. But I feel like I've had my own little.
I think that might
tastes
just be like
of
a
it.
discipline.
I have these things when I'm tired. I think I get more OCD. Like if I blow my nose and I think my hands are slightly even dirty, just from blowing my nose from a tissue. I have to wash my hands. Have to. I'll get out of bed to wash my hands.
Yeah, I do that with pee. Like, you know, you're about to go to bed and like you feel a little pee in you and you're like, I gotta go now because if not, I'm gonna wake up in the middle of the night and pee.
You're like,
you know what's weird, dude?
I'd rather tired pee now
than
than wake up in an hour.
Yeah.
Were you about to say that?
But then that real quick to digress, that tired pee wakes you back up and then you're fucked.
Sometimes.
You ever had
You
that?
have to save the tired. You have to walk over like this.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get you.
You know when you're like about to fall asleep and then you're like, this happens to me. It doesn't happen that much anymore. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm so tired most of the times when I go to bed now. But before, when I did not read before I went to bed, I would think the same thing. Like I would write. You know, you like fall asleep and then you catch yourself and then you really fall asleep.
You're like, I'm going to Sleepy Town. It's coming. And
Then you're like, wait, I gotta pee.
And then I think it's from standing up because, like I said, your blood pressure needs to raise to get the blood to your head. When you stand up, sympathetic nervous system kicks in, and now you're less tired. That's what I think.
You want to hear a weird one?
Go ahead.
So like, I mean, it could be anywhere, but mainly it's at work. Like, I don't know if it's a trust issue or something like that, but like, I'll have like a water bottle, and if like I leave the room for a second or something like that, and like my coworkers are like in the area and stuff like that, I'll like grab my water bottle.
You think it's weird for someone to drink out of your thing?
That's called PTSD
listen,
from high
is
school.
this is what I'm thinking. Like, I'm looking at my water. I'm like, do they try to poison my shit? Like,
Really?
what if they don't like me? Like, you know, like
We're really going into the direction of abnormal psychology. We have OCD, we have PTSD. I just said we have, I think, possible schizophrenia. Which, no, maybe not schizophrenia.
No,
like,
yeah, that's
in just general, just delusions.
Yeah.
Because like I have delusion myself, and saying delusion is like it sounds accusatory. Like, Nick, you're delusional.
or like, listen, like we'll get a return. Like, say we get a pre-workout, somebody returns a pre-workout,
Not about stuff.
and I'll be like, all right,
there's a pipe bomb in
you know,
here.
this is still full. I mean, they didn't even really use it. Should I just take it? Then I'll be like looking inside, like, what if they put some
Wait, where do
weird
you work?
stuff in it? Oh, I work at the vitamin shop,
Okay, cool.
located on Forest Hill. No, but more of the
Some
stories.
dude watching in like England. Where the fuck is Forest Hill? No.
Forest Hill, is that
Yeah,
where
more of
they
the
live?
stories. I don't know
They live
why.
in the
we had a viewer on one of the
that's
buff
like
talks in Europe.
I think that's like maybe a case of paranoia. I don't know, like it's something in my brain.
Then we start getting into because I don't know if Nick wants to put this on air, but I don't think you care. The extra supplements that you've taken in the past can kind of impact those hormones a lot.
I
don't
definitely
think
believe.
they carry that far to.
I'm talking about like extra supplements.
No, I don't care how hard the drug is. I don't care if it's shrooms, meth, fucking anything.
I'm talking about like roids.
It can be SARMs, testosterone, anything like that.
It does impact a lot of your hormone levels like that.
Sorry,
there could be a
I was totally
possibility.
thinking just other drugs. I wasn't thinking about that.
It definitely could be a possibility.
But hey, I want to bring this up. I get the most tired learning before bed, but I also retain the most.
Yes.
When I would study, I would study into sleep. I love saying sleepy town because it sounds so retarded. But
Sleepy time.
sleepy town.
Sleepy town.
TOWN.
No,
I love studying things into sleepy town, and I maybe let's say right now I'm really fascinated with mixing and mastering. So I'll be watching a famous mixing engineer on like URM Academy. Shout out to you guys. I love you guys. Or Nail the Mix. I'll be watching a Nail the Mix episode, and like Chris Crummer will be doing something cool. I'm just like, and I like kind of wake up, and it's been like 5 minutes. I haven't understood a thing. I was like, okay, I gotta go. And that really makes me tired. If I'm on TikTok and I'm enjoying and relaxing, I'll be there for an hour, 2 hours. If I'm learning, I will fall asleep in 15 minutes.
Okay, 2 things.
Good.
Real quick for anyone watching the podcast, if you have trouble sleeping, I recommend that you stay off screens before you go to bed and try to read a book or read anything. Like literally, dude, save my sleep schedule a lot. That's why I attribute to me getting better sleep with less amount of sleep, because I used to be a little bit OCD about 8 hours, so I stopped going. But also, like we just talked about sleep. Anyways, do that. But I do the same thing. Do you think that you retain any of the little information you get? I watch this one guy. He's like a bodybuilding guru, dude. He does like talks on supplements and different bodybuilding stuff. And after I read a couple pages, I try to limit myself to like 5 to 10 pages a night, do a little bit. If I'm still not like there yet for sleep, or I want something to soothe me, I'll put them on and I'll listen to them for 2 to 3 minutes and then I'll be out. Do you think you retain any of that information?
I think your short-term memory, as it converts to long-term memory, the farther away the time goes from the moment you absorb, whether it be visually, audio, or whatever, tactful, whatever. I can't say it. With your hands, however you're learning something, I feel like obviously the longer the amount of time since you experience that similar information, you're going to retain less. But I feel like if it's right before sleep, I feel like that slope, is not as steep. Yeah. I know that was a lot of,
because I've retained some information from videos like that. Like I was having a conversation about somebody about fish oil, and he did like a really extensive like overview of how fish oil has, even like now they're thinking that it can help cure depression and stuff like that. It's just crazy by just taking fish oil.
What is your depression bed look like?
What? What is my?
What is
There's
your
a lot of
depression bed
things
look
that
like?
potentially can cure depression.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just want to ask you, what's the weirdest thing in your guys' depression bed?
Oh, you saw that video?
Well, I saw you were TikTok.
Did you see the one that I posted that kind of popped off the other day about that?
Don't worry, like don't play the victim, like do a business.
No, the girl. It was like the girl. You didn't see that one, dude. It's hilarious.
No, I didn't.
It was a girl. She was like, I think I'm gonna be a whore this summer.
Yeah, I did.
And then,
I did. Then yeah, I
what comments were?
before we get into that, I had something that kind of came to my head after we thought about it a little bit. To go back on that whole water bottle thing, I think what it actually comes down to is like, you know,
Water bottle
I think,
thing.
Yeah, you remember when I was
water
talking about the
bottle,
water
yeah,
bottle?
My bad. Dude,
I
keep
think
going.
what it comes down to is like, I think I've just experienced enough different things and enough different people in this life to realize that you can't really trust anybody. Like,
That's true.
there's a lot of weird people in this world, and they can be right next to you. You don't even know it. You know,
That's
so
true.
like, I think
I think
maybe that's just like some PTSD or something.
I think that's how it's supposed to be, and you're supposed to have to trust people.
So like, obviously my coworkers probably would never poison my water bottle, but that's just like, I'm always just awoke like that. Like, I'm always just thinking about the craziest things in every different aspect.
I'll flip it on you real quick. Honestly, like, I don't even worry about those things because if I were to die from something like that, I'm just like, like
It is what it is.
It is
right?
what it is at that point. If someone's gonna poison me and kill me that way, then whatever.
I think the answer to everything, not every.
I know. See,
almost everything.
that's probably goes back to me just being an overthinker.
Yeah.
I'm a big overthinker.
I think it's good that you're self-analyzing and you're noticing these things.
Oh yeah,
about
I
you.
definitely feel like, you know, I mean, everybody has flaws. We're all human, so like,
Except for Matt.
yeah, I'm perfect.
We
dude.
all have we all have, you know,
I'm far from perfect.
mental flaws and different things like that. And
Except for Matt.
the best thing we can do is, you know, take those and face them head on, you know, like, and try to correct them as much as we can, because a lot of people don't try to do that. You know, a lot of people don't even notice their flaws.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of people don't even try to think about them, you know.
Yeah.
You got to have someone there who like, and I think a little bit of sense of embarrassment gets you there too.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm losing my ability to get embarrassed, but I don't want you to think
Self embarrassment, not embarrassment in terms of
Yeah.
like,
Wah, wah,
You know,
wah.
I didn't want you to think me joking with Matt was taken away from the seriousness of what you were saying. I actually 100% agree with what you said. Facing those flaws is,
you know, like, everybody has
constantly
mental
improving.
issues. You know, everybody goes through different things. Everybody takes things differently. Like,
Yeah.
you know, not everybody likes to talk about it. You know,
that's true.
it is what it is. But
I want to also add on top of that, if I'm not interrupting, I want to, this podcast and all the next ones, a lot of the answers to things like that is all about balance, because
100% balance
you
is
have
the key word.
you have to really be careful with the trust you give
Balance
out,
of vape. No.
but not to quote enough or anything, but you do have to give off trust, and it has to be broken sometimes. And I think God puts us through, I don't know if you're a man of faith or anything.
Oh, of
but I think
course.
God puts us through these things, and he really puts your trust. He's like, develop a relationship with that person, and he goes, they're going to break your trust. Are you going to never trust them
100%.
again? Or are you going to have to know that that happened, and you're still going to put yourself out there?
Well, sometimes you're going to fall in the same trap multiple times
100%.
until you realize and learn from that
Yeah.
situation. Like,
People
and that's
in the
just
Bible
part
do
of
that
it.
with God too. They put the trust in over and over and over again. But in the end, he always has your back. But you're going to go through some trials and tribulations before you get to the final stretch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
No, definitely.
I mean, I think
But I think you got to be smart too, because I
Well,
hear
yes,
a
you
lot
gotta
of
be
people are
smart
like,
about it.
you know, you got to take every
I was talking
relation.
about women. You don't trust women. I meant the other thing.
I don't. No, I'm just kidding. I think that like what I don't like about when people say, hey, life's about making mistakes. I think that's true, but I think you got to like really learn from your mistakes. You know what I mean?
Learning from your mistakes, not making mistakes.
Yeah, like
in
I hate when
person-
people say like, "Oh, you're young. It's time for you to make all the mistakes in the world." It's just like true, but like if you continue to make the same exact mistakes over and over again, and it's blatantly obvious that you're making the same mistakes, you're just wasting your time and you're wasting your time on the planet. That's just me being brutally honest.
One thing I hear anytime you go in the fire service is you're allowed to make a mistake, but you're not allowed to make the same mistake twice.
Yeah.
And that comes down to being coachable. And when you make yourself coachable, like Nick was saying, he sees his flaws. He's like, hey, this is potentially a problem. And he had the vulnerability to speak out to it, not only to us two, which we're not as close as maybe you guys are, but he's facing it, and I think he's building on top of that. And that's being coachable, and that's
I did not mean to do that.
that's actually great.
that was great.
That was a palate cleanser to the melancholy conversation.
Moral of the story, I think
That's great that you're building.
if you just live every day of your life trying to be better than, you know, be a better person than you were the day before or the hour before, then you'll never have to, you know, worry about anything. You know, you just
I agree.
Hit that clap button. So well said. So well said. That was honestly,
Yeah.
that's with everything. We talked about this before.
Yeah, you know,
like if you're constantly learning and improving, like that's
there's no
I don't know.
time for depression. There's no time for anxiety when you're always trying to keep progressing and always trying to fix, the issues that you have at hand. You know?
I should make a shit like that. Ain't nobody got no time for that depression.
Yeah, like no, seriously.
I
It's
don't
like
got time to make a depression bed.
mental issues most of the time are, ramped up so much because you're not doing anything with your time. It's like
It's true.
your anxiety is going through the roof because you're just sitting in your house all day. I mean, obviously everybody's got a different situation, but I think having too much time on your hands can really make those mental issues and those mental disabilities
Go away.
skyrocket.
Actually, I want
Oh
to.
yeah. If you're busy, it makes the
Well,
stuff go away.
if you have too much time on your hands, but
Yeah.
So-
if you're busy and you're productive and you're focused towards goals and having things like that,
I agree.
it really helps keep those at the all-time low because
Great band. Great band. All time low. You guys are awesome.
Unfortunately, though, people don't want to have that conversation. So when I posted that TikTok, I wasn't trying to poke fun at like mental health. I was just trying to,
well,
TikTok.
people are going to be triggered about anything. That's just the way the world is. Everyone's so triggered about
let me just
everything.
put something real quick because I made a TikTok about girl talking about her depression bed or whatever. It was trying to be funny. TikTok for me is just to get more traction towards the business and whatnot.
Before we continue
reach out
this,
there.
we all are able to laugh about anything. When it comes to the worst things in this world, like death and the worst topics and the most
Heinous.
horrible, heinous, tragic things, or it's the most lighthearted stuff. We joke about everything, and I think that's an ability everyone should have. So going back, I want you to continue.
No. So multiple people actually sent me some stuff saying like, "Hey man, this is like kind of messed up," and I was just like, I wasn't making fun of the actual disease or the mental health part of that. What I was making fun of was the fact that this girl, if she actually has the disease that she was talking about on that TikTok, is that she's perpetuating a negative
What do you mean by
stereotype about
disease?
herself. Depression or anxiety or whatever mental health problems that she had. I don't know if that's true. She might have just made it for fun, right? Yeah. But I had someone reach out to me specifically and they said, it's not, this could be offensive towards someone who has, real mental health problems. And I said, maybe that's true, but I wasn't making fun of the mental health thing. I was making fun of the fact that it's like a heroin addict posting a video of them, their heroin needles and saying, let me see your heroin needle stack. Like, you have an addiction to heroin, right? Why are you going to perpetuate a negative stereotype about yourself on social media and put yourself out there and make yourself look like a fool? Yeah. The same thing, if you're overweight, you're making fun of the fact that you're overweight on social media. How is that helping you or anyone else that's overweight? Yeah. It's not funny. Unfortunately, you're in a situation that you put yourself in, right? Most of the time. Learn from it and get better. Put stuff out there to help people rather than let's make and she was being serious in that TikTok. I don't know who this person is, but they were talking about how messy they were and how their cords are everywhere, their books are on the ground, their chips in the bed. Like, that's not going to help your depression. Yeah. What will help your depression is, I don't know, go see
making your bed.
Making
Step
your
one.
Well, that's what we like to say. Yeah. But if you want to talk about the societal aspect of how people treat with mental health, the proper thing to say is go seek a professional, go talk to somebody, whatever. So instead of making stuff like that, because it won't go viral if you make stuff like that, you got to make stuff that pokes fun at something that you want me to be serious about, but you're making fun of it. Yeah. So what's the difference if I'm doing something? What's the difference if I'm saying, hey, instead of you talking about your whatever bed and showing how messy and how lackluster your life is, why don't you try to motivate or just even try to help people in your circle about your situation?
I think it all comes down to your perspective on your own problem. I think I want you to say that, but like if you think you being fat is funny, you're gonna think it's funny and make a bunch of jokes. If you're embarrassed by your heroin needle, you're not gonna say it. And if you kind of think that your depression is whether it's serious or not, or whatever, you can make jokes depending on your perspective.
Yeah, but the real quick, there's a little closer. The problem I have with that is that if you're gonna make fun of it and someone else comes out and tries to say something that could be true, because many people, it's not just us that thinks that mental health problems can be cured by doing being productive and maybe putting some goals, small goals. It could even be like, hey, I'm gonna go see my grandma today. I haven't seen her in 6 months. Yeah, it doesn't have to be start a business, or that was just exaggerating, all right? Yeah. But if you can make fun of yourself, why can't other people come and critique you? Now that I say something about your condition or your disease, you have to come at me saying that I have no emotional support for you, or I don't believe you. No, that's not true. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like if someone posted a serious TikTok about depression and mental health problems, and then I'm coming saying, "Oh, this is bullshit," and all this, then I understand. Yeah. But if you're making, you get
well, to go off what you guys are saying, like, listen to this. I seen this a little while ago, and I thought, wow, this is very true. Like, especially in our day and age with kids our age, like, a lot of people, they claim they fight a lot of demons and stuff like that mentally, and it's like most of the time it's not even real issues. You know, it's most of the time necessarily it's really them fighting accountability and responsibility. You know, it's
Refer
like
3 podcasts previous to this one.
you know, like so like moral of that story is like, you know, sometimes it's just, you know, yourself fighting, you know, taking
Yourself.
accountability for yourself.
It comes back to creating your own problems. You don't have anything to do, so you just create something. I'm serious.
Like, you know, you have anxiety or you have
podcast.
depression, you know, well, you complaining about it, or, you know, you saying, oh, I need this for that. I need it, you know, this is only going to make it worse. Like if you actually, you know, thought about it in maybe a positive way, or, you know, started thinking about it in a different way. Like, you know, I mean, I know it's easier said than done, but, you know, there's a lot of different things that you can do or take action, you know, to fix that.
It's easier said than done, but it's able to be done. It's not like,
You know,
I hate what happened.
this is so bad. I don't mean to interrupt, but our new single comes out in an hour and 20 minutes. So
Okay.
there's a
Shout
video.
out to 7 Fly Band. I'll put this in the beginning of the video.
Go
Shout out to
download
7
it,
Fly Band.
Because
Spotify.
This was filmed on April 29th and it's 10:40 p.m. So
I will-
whenever this releases is.
I'll make sure to put this out on this next week's Buff Talk. 'Cause we do, obviously, as much as we joke around about it, because I think the first couple, I'm like, hey, I haven't seen you in like 2 days. We do film the stuff ahead of time, as everyone knows. Like there's videos that have been piled up for weeks on end. But yeah, I'll put this out. So Levi, everyone, real quick, whoever's watching this video, go check them out. If you're already on Spotify, we do have some viewers, I guess now. I saw some analytics of people in like, I don't know if they just clicked on it for a chance, but people in Europe and stuff like that, or wherever you're watching from, go check out 7 Fly Band. Levi put together some amazing stuff.
If you guys don't care, it doesn't matter. But if you guys do end up supporting the band, thank you so much. Like not everybody's into everything. If you're into alternative rock music, stuff like that, check us out. But to get us back on track, I think somebody said something. Wait, first, before I say this to get back on track, did anybody not finish their thoughts? Was somebody in the middle of something? Well, I was going to say.
No, I finished my thought.
I think
She broke
depends
up with
on-
me last year. No, I'm just kidding.
I think it doesn't matter about like
shit.
I was kind of stemming off of what you said about not making fun of people with depression. And before somebody's watching this and is struggling with something and gets mad at us, we've obviously conquered our demons metaphorically, but and we have the same problems that other people do every day. They might be different, but we all have problems. But I want to say it's not about what problems you face. We will get depressed. It's
about how
what
you
you
handle
do. Exactly. There's no other way to say it. It's what you do when you're depressed.
And not
do you
to-
make a bed to soak in it, or do you like writing a song seems really dumb, but I thought it was really dumb when I first did it. That's why I never released anything. And then when I started getting good at writing and I released it, the amount of people that have come up to me, especially this wrote a song called "Stay Golden, Pony Boy," reference to the Outsiders book, if you've ever read it, or a movie if you've seen it.
No.
It's nothing gold because it's actually a really, really good book. But so many people have DM'd me and messaged me saying that I just the song's theme is about getting back up again, and the more, and actually this new song coming out tomorrow is actually about the more that you go through, it's about learning to heal.
Yeah.
And no matter what you go through, you always come out stronger. And it's like when I look back on my life, I said this in a little content I was releasing to go with the video, that every time I look back on my life, I'm so glad I went through the things I did, because
Exactly.
I would do it all over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
So
I sometimes you think about, because I'm big on strategy and strategizing. So like I might be someone who holds a little bit the past, not like on a grudge, but kind of like on a notebook, so I know what I need to do for the future. But I do agree with
Well,
you.
you got to remember the past, because the past,
Yeah.
it also, defined you in a way.
learning from your mistakes. It's
Yeah.
we are a product of our past.
You don't dwell on the
and
past.
we use
right?
it.
And
Use it
this
to-
this might be one of the last things we hit on tonight for today's topic. But talking about the past, you think that, because we talk about the past, everyone talks about the past in a positive light, like, oh, I learned from my mistakes, I learned from this, I learned from that. Can other people use your past to maybe not judge you, but be able to put a stigma on your character? In my opinion, it might be a little bit harsh, but I think that the past is an indicator of people's future actions.
Yeah.
Depending on, obviously people change, we talked about this before, people change and all this stuff, but I think that it's like a batting average for like a baseball player, right? Like you're
Yeah.
gonna go look at his past 5 games, how's he been playing? It'll more than likely indicate how he's doing that game. There's the chance that if he's been doing bad, he'll do well, but more than likely he'll be doing, if he's in a slump, what are the odds you bet that game that he comes out of the slump? It's gonna be less likely than not, right?
It's all about pattern recognition, and that's a big thing we do with humans. That's why, and if we're getting it simple, something that anybody can relate to, if you are of age watching this, where you've had maybe some relationships behind you, is dating a new person who's had a past, and you're just like, well, pattern recognition, as she changed, as she's not, or there's so many other things I could do, but that's very relatable.
I think that it's important though. Nick, would you agree? Like to
I
look at
definitely
someone.
agree to an extent. Because obviously, I do believe, we're all humans. So like, we're going to go through certain phases, or we're going to go through things where.
You don't have to agree if you disagree.
No,
Keep talking. I think he agrees, but
Okay.
he's kind of like saying his own take.
No, definitely.
I mean, I agree with it, but I feel like there's also been like, people that were totally like terrible at certain things, like horrible. Like nobody thought they would be anything
Oh, definitely.
like in those things. And they ended up, becoming some of the greatest in those things, So
It's such a bad joke.
What does it say?
No, I was just gonna make like I was gonna take a really bad thing and be like, oh, like this guy, he was great, but he was a horrible person.
I mean, but what he's saying makes sense. Like,
Oh, sorry. No,
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like I don't want to keep bringing in relationships. I'm gonna bring a different perspective. Business partners, for example. We can jump back to relationships because I know Nick's want to talk about that a little bit too.
I mean, we can pass on that.
No, but like let's just say business partners or a band member, for example. Like if you are notoriously, if this guy you talked to other bands before. Oh, dude, he's always late. He never he flakes on concerts. We have music video shoots. He shows up half prepared. His stuff's never in tune. He never comes to practice. Are you gonna put this kid on Are you gonna take the chance and put this kid on your band?
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not, right?
Better recognition.
Yeah.
But why is it bad for us to take something like that? Because if so, you say it to somebody about another thing, let's just say your partner's past history with somebody else, or whatever it might be. That is a subject that's touchy. But when we talk about financials, for example, like if I go to a bank right now and I've had credit card debt since I was 18 years old, do you think they're going to give me a loan?
Yeah.
Probably not, right?
No, it definitely needs to be accounted for.
Right.
For sure,
And
because-
if you be vocal about it in things like relationships with a person, people say, well, that's their past and their change and this and that. But it's like the only aspect in life where people get really sensitive about it.
Mhm.
And then everything else is like, oh, it's okay. Yeah, we can use their past. We can judge you on you not being able to pay off this debt. So we're not going to give you that loan.
Yeah.
So what makes the difference?
Yeah, actually, I want to add something to that because I think we're on agreement in that. And just take a step further to keep talking on it. I think it's great to be coachable, and if you have a bad track record, you can save it by having a track record of learning from your mistakes.
Mhm.
Think of I don't know what I think. I mean, maybe it comes to my job, like a firefighter. Oh yeah, he messes up this and he did that and he did that, but did he ever do them again? He has a big record of doing bad things, or as a band member doing this and this, but he's better. I remember that somebody told me a story. Was it IBM? I think it was because we're in Boca. I think we're driving past the old IBM building or something like that, and somebody made a huge mistake, and I think it cost the company like $9.4 million. And he's like, fuck, oh my God, dude, I'm fired. And he goes up to his supervisor or boss and he's like, are you going to fire him? He goes, no, I just paid $9.4 million to teach you a lesson. Why am I going to fire you now?
Yeah.
And if you have that track record of being coachable and learning from mistakes, that I think is very important in your past as well. I just want to throw the dynamic on there.
I agree. What I disagree with in society and the age we live in nowadays is that people that say they don't want to be judged on their past relationships, even fitness, for example, like someone who's been trying to lose weight for 10 years and they haven't been able to do it. It's not because they lack the knowledge. It's not because they lack the resources. It's everywhere, dude.
Self-control.
It's they lack a certain characteristic within themselves that needs to be fixed before they can take a step forward and expect people to take them seriously.
Yeah.
Because I hear it all the time, and like I said, don't want to keep bringing it up, but I'm gonna keep bringing it up because the thing with the relationships for me and what I've learned in terms of not just my past relationships but people in general is that relationships are different because you have an attachment towards this person like none other. You know what I mean? If you lose a business partner and you lose $1 million, I mean, it sucks to lose $1 million, but it's not somebody that you slept in the same bed with. It's not someone that you spent all your days with. Well, maybe you did, but you know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's different with relationships. And that's why it's so tricky because it can make or break you.
I think attachment is the root of all fear.
Well,
That's true.
I mean, think about we had a podcast we were talking about
attach yourself.
some
to
of the best
anything.
things in this world. Like we were talking about time and money and one of our first podcasts and about putting into things. You put 10,000 hours into playing guitar, like we said, you're going to be very good at guitar. You put 10,000 hours into coding, you're going to be very good at coding. You're getting mastery levels of hours in these things. If you put 10,000 hours into video games, you're going to be really good at video games. But you put 10,000 hours into a person, at any moment they could die, they could leave, they can move far away, whatever, So what we're trying to say is
Everything
despite
comes down to
humans
math.
being complicated, we are social people. And think about what we live for. The number one thing that we strive for and we want in our lives. This is amazing. This is like three guys are like, this is a great night for me. And it's one of the most satisfying
Wonderful
things
night.
in my life. But at the same time, humans, they bring us the most joy. They're the most complicated, bring us the most.
It's like
angst?
the highest risk to the highest reward.
Human
Exactly.
interaction is changing, though. I think it's starting to not become a thing as much anymore, and it might cause a lot of problems.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I think what like social media and stuff like that.
No, just there's not like a human presence. I mean, how am I trying to say this? Like
I think we're interacting pretty well.
Like
getting social
interactions,
media
like-
is crazy.
well,
No,
now that-
I do agree with you, but I agree with you too. I'm like
I think,
split
like,
between this.
nobody's like doing anything in person anymore. Like eventually, we're not going to be communicating in person at all.
I agree. It's just the changing
I
of
say
times.
pros and cons. I think you need a balance. I think you need a balance. I love social media, but I also love in person stuff like that too. I also wanted to add. Before the podcast shuts off, I had this kind of just popped in my head. I don't think it's bad to get up and go on your phone. I'm a huge advocate of when I wake up. First thing I do, I check my text
Balance.
messages. I check my email. Exactly. Is that all about balance? I check my emails. I check my because I have that gig thing. I'm constantly checking my emails for the marketing team, the production team. I'm checking my messages. I have a significant other. I have parents. I have family, friends, and on top of that, I have a business to run, and the business is in the entertainment
one.
industry. So
Last one. We last like 10
there
minutes.
you go. I check my analytics. I do stuff, and I kind of make a little goal for the day. I have a to-do list on my phone. I love making to-do lists stuff like that. So I don't want any viewers to say, "Oh, these guys are successful and all they do is get up and don't even touch their phone." I consider myself somewhat in the right direction of being a successful person. And first thing I do when I wake up is I reach for my phone, whether it be after I pray or whatever. And when I go to bed, I have my Bible on my phone. I pray before bed before night too. But my phone is with me when I wake up and when I go to sleep. And I don't see a problem with it. But I think, like they said, it's also about a balance too. I have some mornings
I
where
think
get
it
up and
depends
just
on the
eat.
kind of information you're allowing into your
Facts.
brain, or
Yes.
the kind of information you're absorbing. Because, I mean, it can go both ways. You know, it can be a very big motivator, and it can be a
That's the problem with social media, for example, is that you don't know what information you're going to get, and a lot of times you get the wrong information at the wrong time.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
It's a lot of deceiving things on social media.
And algorithms.
Because honestly, social media is more like a highlight reel. You know, it's a lot of the good things in everybody's lives. You know, it's not really a whole lot of real life.
I think it's just polarized in general.
Polarized,
like,
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
in politics, it's always very partisan. When 90% of the people that you talk to every day are probably within the middle of your bell curve, but the things you see are so outrageous because they're polarized left politically or right politically because they're entertaining.
Yeah,
Exactly. And that's just human nature, to be real with you. It's just humans are more drawn towards things that are dramatic. It's more exciting. You know,
But that's what makes us different.
but that's the thing, and that's the balance
It's
between
just the stimuli.
the hormone levels between dopamine and serotonin. You know,
Boom! I love this podcast. Such
Yeah.
a great podcast.
We're just getting better too. Like, I mean, this is how many podcasts have you guys done? Is this your second one?
We started a few. He started
second one. No,
he
we've
does-
done probably. There's probably 11 right now.
11. Wow.
We've done 6, and I think you did 5. There's one with
My mom.
your mother, one with a couple with Chris,
Yeah,
a couple with some other people. But yeah, we
and have one with
Well,
Mary.
I'm glad to share this first experience with you guys.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah,
I'm glad that-
we'll do it again. I would love to have more.
I hope they only get better too. You know, get more comfortable with it. Obviously, coming in this at first, it's like your nerves are a little up. Like, I mean, your mind.
I've been talking on camera for the past year and a half. Are you nervous on camera?
I
at
never
all?
get nervous
Yeah, I
on
never
camera.
got nervous anymore, dude. I can speak.
I
about
get nervous
anything.
at a gig because when it's performing, but when
Yeah.
it's something, I'm sure I could do like talk.
Yeah, so you guys are movie stars. I'm not a movie star.
No, not yet. I honestly, I don't know.
Somebody's
If
just a drag star.
I just got a book about how to speak better in front of the camera because that's something I want to learn. You know, just being. Even though I think I'm good.
mastering the mind is definitely key. You know, because
I have verbal pauses. And things like that.
well, I naturally have anxiety, like so. It can spike random times. Like
For sure.
sometimes, sometimes I mean, even like this whole mask thing with COVID, like
Yeah.
it spiked my anxiety, especially because I work with it. But I think it depends on what you're doing. Like, customer service gives me anxiety in general because, sometimes people are like ridiculous.
I get anxious too sometimes, and actually, I don't want to go down the neuropsychology route because I don't know if we have time in this podcast. But there's different things when you come to stress or problems. There's regression,
A lot of things cause
repression.
anxiety, though, too.
There's displacement. You do
Caffeine.
things, writing songs, stuff like that. When I get into anxiety at work, I kind of project on accident, but it comes out in a good way sometimes. So like projection is when you're angry, but you like
I'm angry.
beat your
inside.
dog.
You beat your dog.
No. Oh, sorry. No, that's not projection. That's something else. But
That's
it's
reflection
saying,
right there.
It's like you. It's like when someone's cheating on their individual, and then they're paranoid about their significant other
Oh yeah.
cheating, and you're like, oh, you probably did this, and there's a lot of people. Like I used to be paranoid because I had a past relationship where they were projecting all the time. So now, sometimes in the present, it's better now. But I used to think that everyone was projecting all the time. Every time they ask me something, but when they have a clear concern, they're not always projecting. But for me, when I'm at work, I take the anxiety, which is what I say to you, and I know that the patient is anxious. I always make them laugh, and I think
in that aspect, it's a lot easier because
it's a good projection.
Yeah, it's a good projection. So
if I'm anxious, I'm like, what, you anxious?
I think that's why I'm gonna do very well with that because I genuinely do enjoy helping others, and me impacting others, it really makes me happy inside. So I enjoy doing that. It's something I really have a passion for. So. I'm gonna hold this tear in.
I use this all the time. There's a nurse at St. Mary's, but I stole this from him, so I use it to calm down people that are still with it, but they're really anxious about needles and stuff like that. So I have their arm, I have the tourniquet on. I'm about to start the line, and I can tell they're starting to shake, something like that. So I tell this to them, I go, hey, I have good news and bad news, and they're like, what? I'm like, well, bad news is this is the first IV I've ever done. And they look like just the blood goes from their face. I'm like, but good news is I saw how to do it on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
And then they start laughing like crazy. And then they realize I do it really nice and easy, slow.
Dude, I'm dying. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. And, I think little things like that can really change someone's day. Like, for example, with the position I'm in right now, still working at the nutrition shop, like, a good example is one time this guy came in, man. He's maybe his mid-40s, right? Looked like a wreck, bro. He didn't have much sleep. He looked like he was, having a little bit of issues going on. He ended up, kind of opening up to me and telling me, he was going to get, married, and out of nowhere his fiance left him, because he financially wasn't there for her. So this, woman that he was in love with left him.
I had to throw that
left him because he wasn't financially there. So I straight up just told him, well, listen, bro, like, honestly, she did you a favor. Like, if she left you because you weren't financially stable, she never really loved you. And, you should be happy that it happened now, even though it does hurt. So he really just, moral of the story, wanted to get in shape. So, I got him on a couple supplements. I told him, do this, do that, focus on the gym, focus on yourself. You're a king. You're gonna get through this. You're gonna do what you have to do. Don't let this ruin you. Get back on your financials. Like,
oh yeah, man.
Make her wish she never left you. You know what I'm saying?
Disregard females, acquire currency.
I was like trying to I think you can turn almost anything into motivation.
MGTOW.
So moral of the story is he came back like a couple months later and he was looking good. Like he was happy. He looked in better shape. Like, he was one of those gym guys. But
I have BB Pro. No, I'm just kidding.
Sometimes all it takes is one person to impact someone, and that can really change your life. Like, who knows?
Especially when it comes to that stuff, bro.
Yeah,
because the right person just got to say the right thing to you, and they put it into perspective. They're like, they did you a favor, dude. That's probably the best thing you could tell someone who got out of a relationship. Because if you put it into perspective with them, like, hey, how long have you guys been together? Oh, we've been together for 4 years. Well, you could have been together with her for 12 years with 2 kids
already. You
could have 2 kids, and you could have a whole house that's going to be hers. Yeah. It's better to happen now. It was going to happen no matter what. You might as well just cut it off now. It's like ripping off the Band-Aid. It's the best thing you could tell somebody.
Yeah, I want to commend you for doing that. It takes effort, especially in customer service. I don't think people realize, and if you go down the route that we were talking about earlier, it's before everything, even maybe medically, it's customer service.
It really is. You have to care about people.
Yeah.
You have to genuinely care. And like, I think, there's a lot of people that, get involved with these jobs, whether it's the medical field. I mean, sometimes even doctors, like when I was a transporter and I've got to see, behind the scenes with some of them, for a lot of people, it's just a job. And I really don't think that's, right. I think if you're going to get down in this field and in the medical field or any kind of field that deals with people, you really have to enjoy helping people and want the best for other people.
Well, that's a balance too. I think it's just a job, but also I love people. And I think I wanted to commend your effort because you push that effort constantly, even when you're tired and you're a bad day or
I know.
3 a.m.
Yeah, because
when you
we're
need
human
to.
too.
Yeah.
So it's not always easy.
I think you're gonna give that, you're gonna push it to people, and you want them to pay it forward. Like you made his day, you want him to, and you want the world to go around like that.
It revolves
sometimes
around you.
Sometimes you're gonna push it forward, and it's not gonna pass that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're gonna push it forward, and it's gonna mean the world to a person.
Oh, yeah.
But you gotta keep constantly using that effort in other human beings, and I commend you for doing
And
that.
I think the key, the moral of it is never lose that, because a lot of people sometimes lose that light because they get demotivated because there's so much, negative people around that will shut that down.
Yeah.
And you're going to get shut down a lot. That's just how it is. Not everybody wants to hear that. Not everybody, wants to be cheered up or anything like that, and that's just part of it. You just got to keep it moving.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think I mean that reminds me not just what's it called, to put myself on a pedestal with a bunch of these anecdotes, but 2 examples. I remember sometimes when something about CVS Walgreens, I always end up paying for something from because they can't. And
Really?
Damn, that's weird.
something about CVS and Walgreens. It happens all the time. It literally happened a month ago too. And one time was a guy went and was just buying cereal for his kids. Could have been for him. Could have been lying. I don't know. But he's like, "Dang, my wallet, it's at my house." Now he got really frustrated. I could tell he's all this gas, and he started to walk away. He's like, "I'll be back." The best thing, I was like, "No, bro, don't go all the way home." I was like, "It's $8." Obviously, to me, $8 back then was a little bit more than it is to me now because I was a kid and I only have $20 in my wallet.
budget.
But yeah, we'll have different budgets. And then a month ago, these women had food stamps, and I'll be honest, it was a little selfish. So don't think I'm a white knight for this. I'm actually a very selfish person in this. They were taking so long. They're like, "What's not food stamps?" They were like, "What's not food stamps?" And they were like taking the Snickers ice cream bars out, the hot fries out, the Anytizers out, and all this unhealthy food. And they couldn't find that what wasn't food stamps. So it was $8.36. $8 again. Something about $8 at CVS Walgreens. And I was so frustrated because it was like
What were you
11:30.
buying? Just curious.
I was buying Monsters for the next day.
So you were just buying Monsters.
I was just buying
you were
2
probably
Monsters.
tired. You got off work.
Yeah, I was with my girl. We were in Melbourne. And she had a test the next day, and I wanted to have a
All right,
productive
so
day and hit
you
the gym.
definitely had a reason for being a little frustrated.
Yeah.
That's normal.
Yeah, and then I ended up paying for them because I wanted them to get it out of the store so I could pay for my stuff. That was a little more selfish than paying for the guy's cereal. But like, just to bring it all the way around, sometimes you're going to pay, and that person's going to be like, "I'm so happy for him. He did that for me." Next time I see somebody that's around maybe a reasonable price range or fast food or whatever, I want to make their day too. And sometimes you're going to push it forward, and it's going to go nowhere. But you have to constantly keep doing it.
I think doing little things like that sometimes can be a good little boost for the soul.
Yeah. That too. It makes you feel
Sometimes,
good.
it may not do anything for you. You may not really get anything out of it, but, I think trying to be the best person you can possibly be on this earth is,
Always.
you're not doing a disservice, to anything by, not doing it. But, I mean, I think it's definitely the right thing to do. Make you feel like like a little boost.
Yeah, to you guys watching, be amazing at yourself. If you try 100% and you lay your head down, tired and worn out from how much you tried that day, guarantee you'll be stronger and have more energy for the next day because of how good a person you were, and it'll just keep getting better and better. Matt, are we taking too long? I don't want to stop.
No. I think that's a good stopping point for the podcast.
I gotta get up here.
It has been a fantastic little episode. We had a great conversation. Real quick, everyone check out Levi's band 7 Fly again. Make
Thank
sure you
you
guys
so
check
much.
out that new drop. Check out Nick's social media. Obviously, you guys have seen Nick all over the channel before.
Yeah, maybe one day we'll get a little bit active with it, but right now we're just gonna show some tits. No.
But any closing remarks, Levi?
No. I know
Levi was not about to do this podcast because he was very tired, but I was glad he was here.
I just got off shift this morning, and it's been a rough past 4 days of just not sleeping. But I wanted to do it. I just wanted to, when anything entertainment, as you have longer videos and stuff like that, whether it be a music video or a podcast, as you get towards the end, there's going to be less watch time. But for those of you who make it to this watch time, one, we love you. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for giving us your time. Please comment. We want to hear from you. We want to talk back with you. We're not going to be like, "Oh, this guy commented." Please comment. Please say stuff. Say what you loved about it, what you didn't like about what we said. Interact with us. We love interacting back with you. And lastly, I just want to thank you. I'm very grateful for you. If you are experiencing what we're talking about right now, you are already supporting us. So thank you.
Appreciate you guys for watching. Nick, any last closing remarks?
Yeah, I guess I could throw a couple words in there. I never really thought about doing podcasts. obviously podcasts are dope. I feel like podcasts are like a really dope, chill way, comfortable way for, people to talk about topics that maybe not a lot of people want to talk about. Just average Joe like conversations that maybe a lot of people can actually benefit from,
Yeah, definitely.
especially when you have some open-minded individuals like ourselves at a table. Some pretty interesting topics can be sparked, and it's not like we're, rocket scientists or anything like that. We're just, average normal humans like everyone else. So it kind of
for right now. For right now.
for right now. Exactly.
But actually, that's my favorite things to do. I love like getting food with people. Like with my
Yeah.
band, whenever we have some fun stuff, I love just going, getting food, and talking.
Oh, food.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
we could add food to
mainly
the podcast.
for the converse.
You might, hear a little bit.
No. That's not what I meant. I meant like my favorite things in this, like
I love food for sure.
socially. I love conversing with people, whether it be over
Yeah.
food or over a podcast. I love podcasts because people get to witness. If you have like, I think Naval Ravikant was saying, when you have this thoughts in your head, but when you talk to somebody else about it,
When you talk
make
about
special
it,
connections in your own mind.
Yeah.
And
And
I
also,
love that.
you never know who could benefit from it. You know, I
Exactly.
mean, the situations we go through in life, the situation, especially when you're open minded like that, you can probably bring up a lot of things that people would be interested in. And not only can we learn from it, or others, but we can learn from it.
we learn from each
Exactly.
other. Just here,
We learn from
they
each
do the
other,
same thing we
and
do.
it's-
And just to put this out there real quick before we close out, this is a conversation we'd have if we were having some food together. Like we're not
it's
we're not changing.
normal conversations. Like,
We do not have a notepad behind this
Maybe a
wood
little
block
bit
about
more
what
gay.
we're. No, I'm
a
just
little
kidding.
bit more gay. No, just kidding.
Levi doesn't have a notepad on the iPad telling us what we're moving on to next.
we did have a chart though, but
No, but the conversations are completely organic, and we enjoy doing this because I don't get a lot of free time. I know Nick and Levi are busy too; they work full time.
our lives are only getting busier, guys. I'm 22 now. Matt, you're 22. Levi is 37.
Levi's 41.
He's got 2 kids at home. He's got to go. He's got to go stir the pasta.
I'm basically on my deathbed.
Yeah,
but
like it's a great way for us to get around and put some stuff out there for people to enjoy, people to watch, and people to listen to, and it also allows us to have a little bit of social interaction with each other. Because if we don't sit down and set this up, unfortunately, with the amount of stuff that we all do, it's hard to get together sometimes for fun. That happens when you grow up. So being
just
able
doesn't
to
plan out.
Yo, let's plan. I'll talk to you later about some scheduling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But let's do a Buffalo barbecue. If you guys
But
watch,
also-
yes, yeah, bro. We still have that shark video we haven't done yet. I have another one coming out this Sunday. It'll be out already. But Renzo cooked up some octopus. That's been
Not to cut you guys off, but I want you guys to drop some topic discussions in the comments. Like if you want to hear anything,
someone shot us a DM actually the other day.
please ask us to talk about certain topics. We want to talk about anything. Like we will talk about anything. I don't care if it's uncomfortable. I don't care if it's weird. Whatever it is, we want to talk about it. Like that's what we're here for. We're here for this. We're here for the people.
Someone dropped a comment the other, or not a comment, a DM, and Water Buffalo's DM was talking about how working out could boost your sexual performance. I don't know if they're joking. I think they're being serious.
I think hip thrusters and abs can really
but seriously, no. I think it's a cool topic to talk
for
about.
men, like abs. Getting the core stronger. I mean, we'll save this. This is a
we've
juicy
been working on
topic.
it for a while. I think we all know the answer to that. But when you're young and you haven't made those connections yet, that's a big question.
Yeah,
for us, it's a no brainer. And for some of you watching, you think it's a no brainer too.
I
But
think-
when people have these questions, sometimes like shedding a little light isn't the worst thing in the world.
To go off what everyone's saying here, like I think even nowadays, like the testosterone levels of the average male has dropped.
Yeah.
Nowadays, there's
Next topic.
there's
I saw this thing. It was like
there's too many people on computers nowadays. All these different technologies. Like nobody's doing anything physical anymore, and it's like really just killing our testosterone.
I saw this meme that said white people then, and it's like Vikings are like white people now. It's like mayonnaise is spicy.
Levi is the last Viking. He
It's
really
true,
is.
and unfortunately, I hate to keep digressing, but I'm just gonna say this. Unfortunately, there's people on the pushback of the other side where they're like, "No, it's okay for us to be like that." It's
Toxic masculinity.
Yeah,
It's a balance. It's yin and yang. You have to have your sensitive qualities. You have to care for a woman's heart, and you have to care for your children. But you also have to be
fuck that.
protective.
Yo, what's up with the red pill? No,
it's all about
is it red pill or
balance.
blue pill? No, I'm sorry.
pill.
All right, at least I got it right.
It's all about balance. It's about being. You have to have your sensitive side, and you have to have your
I agree.
yang, your masculinity, and you have to have your protector.
Listen, yeah, we all obviously know I was joking about that. I'm a sensitive little fuck. No, but no, in all seriousness, he's right. You have to have a balance. As men, of course, we have masculine sides. We're men. We're supposed to do what we have to do. But at the right time, there's always a time and a place to shed those feelings. I mean, you shouldn't really have to too much. Yeah, see, Matt's really trying not to say anything.
No, I forgot to record on multi-track again, but it doesn't matter.
I'm just saying this for the guys that are out there tearing right now. That's all.
No, that's true. Anyways, guys, we appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and check out the rest of the channel. Check these guys out. That was been a Buff Talk. Good night, fellas.
Thank you guys for checking out this video. We're so grateful to have you here on our YouTube channel. So make sure to check out all of our other videos ranging from a variety of different type of podcasts to our Buffalo barbecues. Check out our YouTube channel for constant updates on all the stuff that we have going on. You can also follow us on social media like Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. So check us out there. Water Buffalo Training Method. We're out.